begin our discussion, which is looking at the LCCI's third quarter report. There's actually some research that has been done by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, trying to gauge the mood of business owners, investors in the Nigerian economy, looking at what they think about the direction of the economy, what they think would happen in the third quarter, and whether they'll put in their monies to help boost growth and development. And to look at this is Vincent Nwani, he is the Director in charge of Research and Advocacy at the Chamber. Good morning, Vincent, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
On the
Good
show.
morning.
I know that this report, the survey, let's call it a survey, because we're trying to gauge and try to look at what investors think. You do it every quarter.
That's correct.
What's the essence really? Because I know I've said a lot about it, but hearing from you, what is the essence of this? Why is the Chamber always doing this?
It's simple. This is like hearing from the horse's mouth, from the business operators themselves, not government or any of government agencies. Now, and again, it is about what will happen. Most of the data and almost all of the business data or macroeconomic data available are all backward looking, telling you what has happened 3 months ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago. But the beauty of business confidence index is that it tells you what will happen. That is why we call it leading indicator.
More like a forecast.
Exactly, it's forecast. And again, of course, you want to know where you are coming from and what is happening now. But to a businessman, to a business owner, he wants to know what will happen. So the business confidence index is just the aggregate of what operators in the economy across all the sectors think will happen over the next 3 months. And we've been doing this over the years.
I do not know if, who are those that you really look forward to this? Because I'm just curious, because if you do this every quarter, what has been the feedback really from investors, your group, the members, and how have they viewed it?
The feedback has been very robust to start with, and it's not just for business operators, even analysts. People that advise, analysts, advisors, international institutions, even researchers, from within and outside the country. They come over, ask about the report, not just the report, even the method and the big data. That is the spreadsheet for calculating all of this. They look for it, they are looking for it, and of course, the big data doesn't go for free. That is also paid for. So it's not just for the business operators, it's for a wide range of people, even government. The data authority, that is the Bureau of Statistics, will also try to compare numbers with us, because the situation where the BCI said that over the next 3 months that investment is going to drop. We want to see after the 3 months what number data authority is going to bring in. For example, inflation number. Remember that in the last, when we were here, I think 3 months ago, we said that BCI is going to rise. That is 19%. This time it's falling. So the importance of this data is that, one, you want to use it to gauge the reality of the macroeconomic numbers that are coming out. Is very important for government and for businesses. They want to know what will happen. For example, if BCI numbers say that manufacturers are thinking of expanding their investment, the bankers say, wow, so it's time to begin to expand different type of funding assistance to the sector. And this BCI is not just taking manufacturing, it tells you exactly what type of manufacturing, what type of investment, where, because this is just a summary report. It also tries to tell you what part of the country, which state is doing what. So it's a very robust information, and again, it serves different stakeholders: the businesses, the analysts, government, international investors, potential and existing investors.
Okay, before we look at the numbers and details, because you talked about the collaboration that you have with the National Bureau of Statistics. To what extent do you really, do you work together really to come up with this, with these figures? And the modalities and all of that, to what extent do you work together?
To come up with the figures or numbers, business confidence index, one, we don't work with them. on that at all. It is purely private sector driven.
Okay.
And this is not just peculiar with Nigeria. All that jurisdiction in South Africa, in London, in New York, you know, business confidence index is the property of the businesses themselves. It is very objective. It is devoid of, it is devoid of any form of political influence, as the case may be. So this is purely private sector driven. But where collaboration comes in is that if a monetary policy committee wants to meet, they want to know the opinion of the businesses, you know, for banks to set their prime rate and other decision parameters. If again the authorities, the data authority, also call in to say, okay, what are business people saying? Where are employment? This business confidence index, for example, one of the questions there is going to ask, are you ready to hire in the next 3 months? And if investors are saying, no, we want to keep the current level of the current employment level, it's already a signal. At the end of the 3 months, data authority will come out to say that the employment have risen by 100%. So it is also a form of checks and balances. The BCI is purely devoid of public sector influence, but again, they try to compare numbers and realities with the private sector.
All right. Now, you stated in the survey that there seems to be a decline in optimism by business leaders for the third quarter. Now, how would you explain this trend in the light of the claim by governments that the economy is doing well? Because every time we tune on the television, we hear from some ministers to say that, oh, there are a lot of interest from outside of the country, and even for those who are doing business here, to put in more money into the economy. So how do you compare what has been said from the government now with what the private sector is saying?
Okay, like I said before, the business confidence index is a forward-looking indicator, one step ahead indicator. What government have told you last week or last month is what has happened last year, what has happened in April. Let's just get that one clear first. Again, agreed, the Nigerian economy is doing well, it's growing, investments are coming in, people are beginning to look at the country a little bit more from this global issue that Nigeria is now the biggest economy in Africa. This is a plus for us, but the issue is that is this economy doing as much as it should have done without these challenges? The answer is clear. We are in a country where a particular part of the country or a particular region, or even more than one region, we have 6 regions, more than one now, have been shut down economically over the last few years, yet we are growing. Yes, we are growing, but if everything have been fairly better, if power is stable and the supply is stable, we will do better than we are doing. If security challenges are not as bad as it is, we will do far better than we are doing. So what business operators have told us this time is that given all of the enabling challenges, and these challenges are many, I've been talking about security because somehow it is a cross-cutting issue. It's a cross-cutting issue. Particular part of the country, I want to mention Kaduna now. Do you know that value of real estate have dropped by well over 90% over the last 1 year? Well over 90%. We have people that use their homes with C of O as collateral, and the value of what they collateralize have dropped by over 90%. A 3-bedroom apartment somewhere in central Kaduna that was at the price of 600,000 naira. Nobody even want to take it for 60,000. It's not that the quality of that house have changed, of that building have changed, but these are security challenges. I'm just giving you an example. Of course, construction, building and construction that's supposed to happen, it's not happening. These are affecting businesses. During this survey, somebody said that he want to approach bank to borrow money, but banks are not ready to accept the property he has in other part of the country, in this up north, as collateral. So those are challenges. So the short of it is that the economy is doing well. We agree with the government, but we're not doing as much as we're doing. A child that is supposed to be running, but is still learning how to walk and staggering, is progressing, but is not doing as yeah.
And how much of your forecast really tallies with the eventual outcome of the economy after that period is over? You know, like you're trying to forecast by the end of the third quarter, you expect this is what may likely happen. But
Yeah.
do you usually see the correspondence between that forecast and the eventualities and the final state of the economy by the end of the quarter itself? Does it usually tell
Yeah,
you?
I like the question you asked. In quarter 2, that is in April, early April, we came out to say that business confidence index have moved from 10% it was in the first quarter to 19.4%. Now, what are the indicators now? If anytime business confidence move, one of the correlation is inflation. If you hear that business confidence is move, one of the supply is inflation. It means that investors are ready to spend more money to expand their plant size, hire more people, make new investment. And when you make new investment, one of the things that will happen is that, of course, more money will be pumped into the economy through the private sector, and that will drive price level, which is inflation. If you look at the inflation numbers all through the second quarter that have been released for April, for May, what happened? Inflation moved up in line with the business confidence index number for second quarter. So this is a clear indication. And of course, this is an index calculated independently of the data authority. So that is why I try to say that we take the lead by providing information on what will happen. We now wait to see whether the authority will fall in line